Do you want to be the person that everyone remembers? The star of the show? In today's world, there are things that are constantly fighting for our attention, and sometimes it's hard to capture people's interest. Well, today I'm going to share with you several quiet yet very impactful ways that you can become unforgettable. These things that I'm going to share with you today are not loud or overt. They are very quiet ways that you can leave a lasting mark on anybody who you come into contact with, making you completely unforgettable. Before I get started here, I'm going to point out that these tips that I'm going to give you today can be used whether you're in a one-on-one conversation or in a room full of people. They are very subtle ways, yet very profound ways that you can leave an indelible mark on individuals to put you in that unforgettable category. I put these in no particular order, but they all are important. So I want you to kind of think of these as habits to practice as you're connecting with individuals that will put you in that unforgettable category. Some of these things that I'm going to share with you today are going to be, wow, I really didn't think about that. And then others are going to be, yeah, no doubt. But common knowledge is not always common practice. So these things are ways that as you connect with individuals, that they will leave a lasting impression on those people, but in the right way. The first thing, read the room. Whether you're with an individual one-on-one or in a crowd of people, it's very easy to get into our own heads and feel like we're wearing our insecurities like a badge. But we're not. Most people are in their own heads, and they're really not paying that close of attention. So when you walk into a room or you are interacting with an individual, feel out the space. Is this a very lively and uplifted space, or is this a more calm and quiet environment? But that will help you to integrate yourself into that space. And then once you have entered into a conversation or the space, you can then be conscious of how you wish to steer that energy. Do you want to bring a little bit more levity and action and lift it? Or do you kind of want to mellow things out a bit? But when you actually pay attention and read the other individuals, it can help you to then steer that energy in the direction that you wish to take it. My second tip, I usually start off with, but I don't want to be too repetitive, but embrace your authenticity. In this world, we are surrounded by insincerity and filters and people trying to blend in. You don't want to blend in. You want to embrace your sincerity and your values. You want to speak who you really are. Sometimes even if that's not necessarily what people want to hear. Because remember, even if you're stating something that is against the grain, if somebody doesn't necessarily want to hear it, they will still deeply respect you for valuing who you really are and being your authentic self. And then I also want to point out, when you are being your true and authentic self, you will start to attract other individuals who are being their authentic selves. Because again, you don't want to attract people who are putting on a face or trying to blend in. You want to attract the individuals who you will resonate with. So embrace your authenticity and sincerity, which also means you got to know what that is. My next couple of suggestions are more personal to you. Really, you're going to think about these things before you enter into a space or a connection. So my third tip is embrace your personality through your look. Mirror your inner self through your external presentation. Now, this isn't about wearing fancy labels or looking as if you have wealth through what you are wearing, but it's about embracing who you really are and standing out in a way. When you dress in a way that not only do you feel comfortable with, this should be a way that flatters you, but it will give that external confidence as you enter a space or start to connect with people. It's a way of expressing who you are and showing your personality. This also gives you the chance to, again, stand out a little bit. You don't want to blend. Everybody else is boring. I've never figured out what normal is. So trying to know what the norm is going to be is a futile attempt. So dress in a way that makes you feel confident, but mirrors your personality. And then when your external self or how you are presenting yourself mirrors your internal personality or your authentic self, it will give you a confidence. And this will give you a natural magnetism, which will inherently draw others to you. If you've stuck with me this far, consider subscribing here, because this channel is all about getting to our highest and greatest selves. And if you resonate with this information, consider hitting that like button as well, because it really does help out small channels like this. My fourth tip is something that a lot of times people don't think about very often, but I'll explain why it makes you unforgettable, which is embrace a personal scent. Whether that's the body products that you use, a specific perfume or cologne or essential oils, whatever it is that resonates with you. But when your scent embraces who you are at your core being, when we interact with other individuals, especially when they are close to us, that scent actually lies the closest to memory within our brain. So therefore, when they smell something similar or are thinking of you, that particular scent will come up in their mind, and it will help to leave an unforgettable mark on the individuals that you're close to. My fifth suggestion on being unforgettable is huge, which is work on your body language. This carries a weight that words cannot. Work on pulling your shoulders back and taking up some space. It's not about being obnoxious or being in other people's space, but it's about being in that confident self that you deserve the room that you take up. And then work on eye contact with individuals. It's amazing how when you look at somebody directly in the eyes and they know that you're paying attention to them, that you will leave that special mark on them, because our attention is a very fleeting thing. And a lot of times people don't get it from other individuals. So when you look at somebody directly in the eyes and they know that you're present with them, it will absolutely leave an unforgettable mark on them. And then another part of body language is smile. A warm smile can break down an ice cold exterior. But this is a world where, again, a lot of times people walk around with a very sullen look. But even if you are just sitting there quietly, not beaming, but with just a warm smile on your face, it allows people to know that you are an open individual who are looking to connect with others. So don't forget to smile. And this then leads me to number 6, which is be present with the individual or group that is in front of you. This is a world, again, where our attention is a very special resource. So when you are fully present and engaged with the individual in front of you, it makes them feel special. You should make them feel like they are the most special person to you at that moment. This means giving them visual and auditory cues, such as eye contact or nodding your head, and that as you engage in conversation, that you're not just waiting to reply, but you genuinely want to understand them. This is a world where people feel a lot of times misunderstood. So when you give somebody the availability for you to understand what the conversation is and it to be a reciprocal thing, it leaves a very special mark on them. This is about being truly engaged in the conversation with a group or a particular individual. When you openly give of your time, attention, and energy, this is where true connection happens, and it brings rare and beautiful bonds. Number 7 should go without saying, but common sense, not always common practice, which is have manners. That this isn't about societal norms or following the rules, but when you are mannerly and have respect for those around you, it shows a respect for yourself and for them. And trust me, if you go the opposite way and are rude and unmannerly or disrespectful, you'll still leave a mark, but it won't be the one that you want to. And then my 8th tip, which is show empathy and compassion for other people. This goes beyond the just being present. But when somebody is sharing with you, especially something deep or traumatic about themselves, that you show that empathy and that you are truly with them. You don't necessarily have to agree with this situation, but you want to have that more empathetic side of you, knowing that you're at least understanding of their situation. And in a place where empathy is a lot of times something that people have a hard time finding, that this will leave a very special place for you with them. My 9th tip on being unforgettable to somebody is don't be an open book. Now, there is a balance here. Yes, you want to share parts of yourself and have connection or have connection points with other individuals, but they don't need to know every detail of your life. This is about leaving a little bit of mystery to them so that they have things to ask you, which is another way of you understanding whether or not they're truly engaging with you. But you also want to leave room for them to ask questions and give them space to step towards you. That you don't want to run towards individuals, that you have to give them room to step towards you, that people want to be able to pursue individuals. And so, again, don't share every detail of your life. They don't need to know your family drama or your deepest thoughts, but you just want to give them a space to where they can step towards you. So leave a little bit of mystery and intrigue, which will make you much more unforgettable to them. And then my 10th tip, which is show some levity and sense of humor. That it's much easier to be in that confident and charismatic state when you don't take things too seriously. The world wants to laugh. The world wants to relax. So when you are that individual that people can interact and connect with, and you are uplifted and you have a good sense of humor, whether somebody is lovingly poking at you or you are responding with a similar energy or just keeping it light. but you want to have that more lifted vibe. Show the world that it's okay to laugh and be in that more lighthearted space. And then this is my little bonus tip for becoming unforgettable, which is don't be too available. Whether you're in a specific situation or life afterwards as you're continuing to connect with people, but this isn't about playing games or pretending in any way, but it's about having a richness and developed life for you so that you're not sitting around and waiting for others. This is so that people understand that your time and energy is a gift, not a given. So as you have these connections or as you form these connections and then they continue on, make sure that you're not there waiting for them, that people want to chase and pursue a little bit. And we want what is rare. So when it comes to your time and your availability, just make sure that, again, you're not waiting on them, but allow them to come to you and make sure that they know that time spent with you is a gift, which will leave that much more unforgettable mark on them. I deeply hope that this video has helped you out, and I guarantee that if you put these things into practice, that you will leave a lasting impression, the one that you want to leave on the individuals around you. So if it has helped, again, please consider subscribing here. And if the information has resonated with you, consider hitting that like button. So with that, I will say I am sending you all so much light and love, and I hope you all stay well, my friends.